Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0. Welcome to Off the Cuff. I am fucking delighted. I've got lads from all over the world with me today. I've got Randy joining me from LFC Philly. Randy, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Just got back from the pub. It's about a half hour from the apartment, and just got back to make sure I can get on the pod. And I'm just buzzing. This week has been great for us. So let's get on with it.
I've also got Jonathan and Phil joining us, but they're in some fine establishment somewhere, so excuse the background noise. No, look, who the fuck am I kidding? They're in McDonald's because I'm a miserable bastard and the budget won't stretch that far. So the lads are using the free Wi-Fi at McDonald's. Excuse the background noise. Lads, look, I'm just going to jump straight into this. Jonathan, the Reds are fucking mustard, buddy.
Oh, how good was that? How good that was that? That was as close to a perfect football performance as you could possibly get to. From what started off with a strange lineup of the team with just the change in the keeper and whatnot, and maybe the fullbacks as well. But we were literally just completely dominating the game from the first whistle to the final whistle. And a 4-0 didn't flatter us. We could have scored 6, 7, 8 there today, and it wouldn't really have flattered us. It was just an amazing performance all around the field. You look at even for really summed it up for me was the performance of the two fullbacks who you would have concerns about coming into the game. I thought Gomez and I thought Moreno, especially credit where credit was due, were absolutely amazing. It was just a perfect performance, and Jesus, what a day to be stood in the Cop. And I apologise in advance for my voice here. I'm in ribbons after singing, but
it's sexy. It's definitely sexy.
You know what, John? If you weren't,
you've even got the American
Jonathan, I'd be fucking angry. I'm delighted that you can barely speak. Because you know what? I got to be fair to everybody that was inside that stadium today. And Phil, I'm going to come to you on this. The atmosphere was fucking awesome. It came through brilliantly on the telly. The place was bouncing.
Yeah, it was. The atmosphere was amazing. In fact, I was stood, and it's not my favourite place to stand. I was in Upper Anfield Road, but I was directly above the Arsenal fans. And one of the things I did find funny, I mean, they don't put up much of a fight, to be honest, but every time they started chanting, we just drowned them out. And I hope that came across on the TV as well. Every time they started chanting something, we just drowned them out instantly. I was a bit disappointed with the Arsenal fans. I would have liked them to put up a bit more of a fight. They turned up as a bit of a walking cliche, to be honest. They turned up, sung about Tottenham, moaned about the manager, sung for players that weren't on the pitch, and then when they were on the pitch, they ignored them, and then they went home.
The only between their fucking legs.
Yeah, Red showed them how to do it. Red
incoming Arsenal fan TV today is going to be crazy entertaining. I can't wait.
We actually went looking for them. Genuinely, I'm not kidding.
We did. We really wanted to ransack them.
The only time you could hear them was when they were singing Giroud, "Hey Jude," that thing. That's the only time you could hear them.
But even then, Giroud was warming up in front of us, and they were chanting at him and trying to get his attention. And then eventually Giroud came on. I think the only thing he did in the whole game was that header that went. In fact, I think it went into Upper Anfield Road. It's such a shocking header.
You know what, Phil? Giroud thought he was fucking handsome till he came next to Emre Can and he found out what handsome was.
And Karius showed him how to do it.
We're not mentioning Karius. We're keeping that one on the DL.
You know, I think. I mean, I don't know how true this is, so you'll have to forgive me if it's not. But I saw a stat posted online after the game to say that was the first time since October 2014 that Arsenal failed to record a shot on target in a Premier League game.
Wow.
Now, given our defence, you have to ask, did our defence do really well? Or were they just shocking? Or was that a mixture of both?
Yeah, that's the thing. If I can come in, this is Randy. I think that's the biggest question. Is this more dominance of Liverpool Football Club, or is this more of an indictment of what Arsenal FC is?
I'm going for A because we're fucking brilliant.
We are, mate. Take nothing away from our performance. The fact that our front three scored and then we brought on another striker in Daniel Sturridge and he also scored should tell you everything you need to know about our attacking presence. I've been the first to criticise Emre Can when he rushes in and Gini Wijnaldum when he goes missing. Both of those players were phenomenal. In fact, on the walk away from Anfield, Jono and I were talking, and I actually said to him that Ginny was my man of the match today. I think he was
Hey, whoa there! Stop blowing your load.
Hold on, don't
man
jump,
of the match
don't
later,
jump
for fuck's sake.
Yeah, don't jump too forward.
Just for the record, he's already creamed his pants, so it won't be. It won't be. This is round 2. So,
Jonathan, he is not the only one.
I know.
He's got a McFlurry in his pants.
Yeah, if that didn't arouse you, nothing will. That was as close to, what is it? That match definitely has orgasmic qualities.
Right,
it was just
let's get to the game. And Randy, I'm going to come to you first. the first goal, Bobby Firmino. I was the very first one to say, well, not the first one, but I was saying the other day, his play is amazing, but he needs to add goals, and he did that today.
Yeah, I mean, he really did. I mean, his work rate is unbelievable, and that first goal just showed his clinical finish. He was there, in the right spot where you needed to be, and right there we win the ball back from Gomez. Gomez wins the ball back. A little touch from Salah, and then Chan plays him back in. He stays onside. The cross comes in, and like I said, Firmino is there at the right spot, heads the ball down, which is, what you need to do as, heading it gives the keeper no chance. And then let's talk about his little dance there. What was that? But Bobby Firmino is the man.
I don't know, but I'm currently doing it in McDonald's.
Yeah, so I pulled up the replay, and right there, I mean, it's just Czech he had no chance at that. It's just headed down to Czech's
It was a
right,
brilliant goal.
And it's just, what we want from that number 9.
Jonathan, it's no more than we deserve, to be fair. We started like we did against Hoffenheim the other night, like a train. This is the type of Liverpool that the fans want to see, buddy.
It was, and like it really got the place buzzing. The atmosphere, the fans reacted. I hope it came across on TV, but the fans really reacted to the good start to the game, and really got the place was bouncing, and that was reflected on the pitch. But it was just the whole press and the whole squeezing. Like Arsenal tried to be clever. You could see like Wenger had done a bit. Like they'd gone 4-3-3. They tried to double up on Moreno. You had Ozil, and then you had the Ox, who was absolutely invisible. Who's probably a great performance for Liverpool. But you had them doubling up. Then Ramsey trying to get in with holes, but we just got grip of the game and literally just tore them to shreds. And we could, no exaggeration, we could have been 4-0 up at halftime, and it wouldn't have flattered us. We were that good. They were totally outclassed all around the place. It was just everything Klopp stands for was just painted there in the first half. It was just a beautiful performance. And I thought there was part of me there at halftime going, can we keep this going? Like Arsenal started a little. They tried to come back into for maybe 5 minutes in the second half, but then they got blown out of the game.
Yeah, they started quick from the kick-off and in the second half. And there was a moment that I was thinking, oh, God, see, this is where we should have put more of these chances away. But, yeah, you're right. It only lasted for maybe 5 to 10 minutes at most. And that's being generous. And actually, they didn't even particularly threaten during that period. They just had more possession.
But let's rewind it back a little bit before half-time. We've still got Sadio Mane's goal to go through here.
It was a beautiful goal. I was kind of stood in the cop on the left side, so I was watching him when I was there. So White was next to me, and I said, "Watch! He's going to come in. He's going to smash down his right." And he come in, and I'd have to see it back on television, but it looked like just a beautiful finish.
It was that goal was directly in front of where I was stood, so I was a matter of meters away, and it looked as beautiful as it was. It was absolutely quality, and in fact, it made it worthwhile being that close to Arsenal fans, which was making me feel a little bit nauseous. But he did. But he'd actually threatened to do that a couple of times as well. I'm sure that would have been much easier to see on the TV. But there were a few times when you could tell Mane was trying it out. He was getting the ball on the wing. He wasn't entirely sure what he wanted to do with it at that point. Was he going to cross? Was he going to pull it back? Was he going to try and run at them? And on this occasion, he got his head up. He realised there wasn't a better option on. He cut inside and he took an absolute sweet shot. I have no idea whether it took a deflection, but it was absolutely stunning. And it was just a really clever goal.
I'm watching the replay right now. It was Joe Gomez again. He wins the ball, from his right fullback position, gets it into the midfield, and then gets it to Bobby. He gets it out to Mane, and it was Coutinho-esque. He just does that little dink to the right and plays that curler in, and it didn't take a deflection. It started outside the right post, curls right back in, side netting, boom, goal.
It was just beautiful. I'd just like to touch on as well there. I thought it was very practical play from Mane. It just shows that he's not just burning pace, but he was very shrewd the way he made. He's a lot of runs inside Chamberlain, which was wing back, and inside their outside centre half, and he exploited. He picked up pockets of space there, and Gini picked up pockets of space, and Emre did as well, and then Moreno was kind of coming to the outside. So we really played around. Like it started off them trying to do us a trick, but we ended up totally outclassing them, and it was everything. It was raw pace, it was tactical ability, it was beautiful football. It was just a joy to be there today.
Freddie was due as well. We were talking. We've mentioned Moreno a couple of times now. Moreno gets a lot of stick, and often quite rightly so. But I thought he had a fantastic game.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sure
Craig
he
could
made a
tell you.
couple of errors, but he really impressed me today. He didn't stop working from start to finish. He was taking instruction well. Now I hope that came across well on the TV as well, because there were a number of times that Emma or anybody for that matter was sort of giving him a bit of guidance as to when to make a run and when to hold his run and stuff. And he was listening, he was paying attention. So I really like that, because it means we're starting to work well as a unit, we're gelling, and that people are actually recognizing that, okay, he's got a lot of energy and he can run, but he is also a bit of a puppy. So he does need a little bit of training, as much as just being able to tell him to calm down sometimes. But credit where it's due. Moreno had a fantastic game for me.
You've also got to credit the manager in this situation, Phil, for
Of course, mate.
having the cojones to put him in there from the start of the season, because he was written off
100%.
by 99% of us, to be honest.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean,
Right.
the big thing too is that I wanted to add this as far as tactics to piggyback of Jurgen. It's that he recognized. I don't know if it just worked out like this or what, but it was 3v2 in the midfield. It was just Xhaka and Ramsey, and both on the first two goals, Ramsey was out of position, and our midfield just was the opposite. We were on point, and they were just out of position, not in the game or anything, and it was just always 3v2 in the midfield, and then you had Hendo, coming up and clearing it out even more. So it was just, that was where it was the center of the park, and I think that's where a lot of these battles were won, and it was very evident today.
Jonathan,
No,
I
I
just
agree.
want to ask, am I missing something about Granit Xhaka? Because I just don't see what he brings as a footballer. I just can't see it.
No, he certainly showed nothing there today. He was better around the place, tactically, physically, footballing wise. He was nothing that rises to the hype. I thought he was very, very poor. I thought our midfield three were amazing. I thought Henderson was great, Chan was great, but how good was Genie? And some of the runs that he did, he's there dinking and waving like Messi coming through. Like, I was just saying to Phil on the way back, and this isn't a piss take question, but it's deadly serious. Judging by the performance there today, does Coutinho get back into that team at the moment?
You know what? It's a tough question, Jonathan, and you've got to add into that as well. We still have Adam Lallana to come back into that
I know,
midfield.
yes.
It's crazy.
Because-
Phil, what's your take on that? Does Coutinho
See,
walk
my
back
main
in?
point was attitude. So one of the things that we were saying when we were after the game was that actually Arsenal have some fantastic players in Sanchez and Xhaka, and they've really got some world class players there, but they don't look arsed. They don't look bothered, and when a player isn't bothered, it comes across on the field, doesn't it? So they end up looking average. I mean, they're supposed to have the fastest right back in the league, and he looked like he was jogging for most of that game.
Well, I think just to cut in there,
I mean,
Phil,
Mane battered him.
Yeah, he did.
Mane ran rings around him, so take nothing away from Mane, but you've just got to say that if their attitude was better, they'd have put up more of a fight. They'd have still lost, but they'd have put up more of a fight. So if you then flip that to Coutinho, whose attitude is not in the right place at the moment, I don't think he gets anywhere near that squad. Why would you take out a player who's playing at potential, is doing a bloody good job and is working hard with the team and is gelling, to put in a player who doesn't want to be there and whose attitude stinks? As good as that player is, what would be the point? It would have a negative impact on the player that you take out, because you're effectively saying it doesn't matter how hard you try or how good you are, or what kind of attitude you bring to the table. I'm always going to pick another player over you if they're available, even if they don't deserve to be there based on attitude. I think attitude has a lot to do with this. So for me, Phil doesn't get anywhere near that until he fixes his head and gets himself back in the game.
Randall, what's your take on it?
I think that it's really. I mean, we only know what these rumors are. So I mean, if it has been his agent that's really been pushing this, and it's not as cynical as maybe it's been reported, then I think it's really I don't know. It's hard, because to your guys' point, if it does upset, like you said, if somebody is playing better than him, and then it's just like this whole circus has been going on, and then you put him right back in the team, that could upset the whole cohesiveness of the unit. So it's really tricky.
I don't want him to do a Sacco on this, by the way.
Yes.
I don't want him to say disappear and you're banished forever.
Yeah, just blackball.
But I do think a little bit of time on the sideline for Phil, and to earn his place back in the squad.
Yes.
I think that is definitely necessary. I think every player on that pitch deserves to earn every minute of playing time, and that includes Phil Coutinho.
What do you think, Craig? I'd like to get your.
Yeah, it's a really tough one because I can see what Coutinho would do in that midfield, and for me, it would be Genie that would miss out because I don't think. And look, Genie's was awesome today. I did think he started the season a little bit slowly, but I just can't get my head past Coutinho in that deep line position, threading balls through to Mane and Salah. I can just see it all day long.
Oh my. Yeah, because that's what he was going to be playing. He was going to be playing that number 8 or number 6 even role of that, almost defensive center mid stopper to a sense role, and just playing balls, like you said, diagonal balls to Mane, to Salah, right
just
up through
to
balls
move
to
this away
Firmino.
from. Sorry to interrupt. Just to move this away from Coutinho for a second. We're not entirely sure what's going on with Phil right now. Phil is either going or he's staying. His attitude either stinks or it doesn't. But either way, the point is that our squad played a fantastic game of football today without Phil Coutinho anywhere near that squad. So you know what? If Phil wants to go, fuck him. Leave.
Yes.
Goodbye, Phil. I don't want to talk about you anymore. I'm just looking forward to the transfer window closing and knowing who we've got to deal with and who we've not got to deal with. That's all that interests me right now.
Jonathan,
because I think
I'm going to bring Jonathan in here because do you know what I do want to talk about, Jonathan? I want to talk about Mohamed Salah's third goal.
Oh, how good was that? So picture this: we're stood in the cop. You could see the ball breaking away, and I literally grabbed hold of White, who was beside me. He's through. He's going to come through, and he come through, and I was loving the bit of Mane kind of shrugging off their defenders on the way through at the end, and then it was just a perfect goal. He kind of comes in then, and he just gives them the eyes and dinks it into the bottom corner, and it was
orgasmic veg.
I'm not gonna lie, lads. I think I love Mane and Salah. Full on man crush love.
Yeah, I would throw Bobby into that mix as well. I thought he was exceptional again today. He's worked a lot.
And he's got the moves. He's got the dance moves.
Yeah, he always has the moves and the shiny teeth. But his hold-up play, I thought was exceptional. The way he brought players in, the movement in that tree, they just look like a tree that have played all together all their lives.
Do you know? I think that's the amazing thing about this, isn't it? Is they look. You know that a couple of years ago, and I know they're not our favourite team to talk about right now, but a couple of years ago, Barcelona had that real synergy, didn't they? Because the players have played together for so long at academy level, and then through the reserves, and they came through the first team together. That actually they were almost on the same wavelength, thinking they knew where each other were going to be all the time, and that was why Barcelona looked so impressive back then. What's bizarre is that our front three at the moment have that in abundance right now, and they haven't been playing together for all that long. In fact, that's a relatively new position for Bobby. Salah's a new player, and Mane missed a lot of last season. So to look at what they're doing now and then think about what they could become and what else they could do gives you a muck erection.
Phil, do you know what I love the most about what we're doing at the minute? What blows me away of the last couple of games is the intensity of every single player on that pitch is at 10.
Definitely.
And I absolutely adore that because as fans, we will forgive a lot of things, but attitude is what we ask for, and we cannot.
But that's exactly what we were
saying
about Coutinho, and whether that's exactly what I'm saying about Coutinho, about whether or not he gets back in that squad. Because if his head isn't in the right place, which I get what Randy's saying about, we don't know exactly what's going on. We're only led to believe what's in the papers. But the point is, he's not playing right now, and nobody's buying this sore back shit. Nobody is buying that.
No, of course.
So he's not in the squad right now because there's something going on. So if there's something going on, his attitude is not right. We're either considering selling or his attitude's not right.
Do you know what, though? I do trust the manager to make the right call there.
Me too. Me too. So the fact that he's not playing is because he shouldn't be playing, and I trust Jurgen's judgment on that.
Randall?
Yeah, Craig, I wanted to add one last thing on that. The third goal is, I think you guys quickly mentioned it, but it was the hustle of Mane to get back and just cut off those two Arsenal defenders. I don't think that they would even have caught Salah, but just that hustle and that just leading by example to get back, and it's just you didn't probably need to do it, but that just shows really what we are as a unit right now. Is just almost
Hendo's
like a
been
family.
doing the same, Randy. Yeah, Hendo's been doing this. So the last couple of games, I noticed it a lot against Hoffenheim, and I noticed it again maybe 2 or 3 occasions today. Hendo was picking the pocket of the last player, and it was breaking. I think against Hoffenheim, it actually resulted in a goal.
It did, yeah.
Whereas today, I don't think it quite did, but it still resulted in a pretty decent opportunity.
What I think is very interesting there is he's no longer sitting as the quarterback in front of the back four.
Yeah, you're right.
He's pushing high up the pitch. You see him at times charging down their centre half now, and it got to a stage. There was one stage there in the second half, and I looked at the Arsenal. I think it was back 3 at the time, and they're all hands on their hip. They all look dejected. They all look shattered. It was like Mayweather. It was like Connor at the end of the 10th round there last night. They were just gone.
Well, hold on.
Yes.
I'm not having a fucking word against McGregor here, so we can stop that shit.
No. No, what I'm just using to point is they were done, and that was a result of incessant
That was us. Yeah, we
pressure.
did that. Our pressure did that, exactly.
All over. Like, if you could look at the arrows, the points of attack, the points of press, it was just beautiful to watch. It was almost a perfect football performance today. I thought
Yes.
It was great. It was absolutely fantastic. It was
My
such a
friend,
pleasure to watch.
I told her that I would drop her name on this. It's Lindsay and at Lindsay Angeles on Twitter, but she said it was a quote football orgy of goals. That's
It
what
was
our
a football
display
Randy,
was. And
what the fuck is it with your friends and comparing football to sex?
I know it was.
So Randy
my
has
friend
an orgy.
texted me on Hoffenheim. I mean, it must be Americans are addicted to sex. I don't know what to tell you. But
Your parents
the
called you
Hoffenheim-
Randy. I'm pretty sure that.
Yes. But the Hoffenheim was a football. It was football sex, if you could describe it. But that's what Lindsay said. It was just a football orgy of goals. But yeah, I digress.
Well, hello to Lindsay, and thanks for listening, Lindsay. And you're right, it was an absolute orgy, and we came all over Arsenal.
Oh, we chased it, and then the Sturridge goal for me just summed it all up. Because I see Sturridge come on, and I went to White. He said, "He's going to score. He's going to score." And it seemed like maybe it was a bit longer, but to me it seemed only like a couple of minutes later. There's a lovely move down the left. Salah, I think, pings the ball across, and then Sturridge. I don't know what check was at. The goal seemed to be empty completely, and he just nods at home and. The place.
See, here's one for you. Though this is the thing that gets me about that is that Petr Cech is a very, very good goalkeeper, and actually, especially in the first half, he actually pulled off some decent saves and clearances and made himself pretty big and caused some problems for the oncoming attackers that were having a bit of an onslaught at his goal at that time. But you've got to think to yourself. I mean, Jono mentioned it before and said on form, if we'd have scored another 2 or 3 goals. You wouldn't have said that flattered us. That would have been fitting with our performance. I'd also throw into the mix what would have happened if you weren't playing against a goalkeeper of Petr Cech's stature, who actually, despite the fact that he's aging, he's a fantastic goalkeeper. And
it could have easily been 3 or 4 more.
Exactly. He saved them on at least 2 or 3 occasions that I can think of. Not to mention the fact that the confidence of having a great goalkeeper behind you gives you a defence if they had somebody lesser in the goal. So I think there's a lot for Arsenal to worry about, but quite frankly, I couldn't give a shit about Arsenal. So I'm just delighted that we had such a fantastic game. It was an awesome game to watch. It was just brilliant.
That cross, just to break down the Sturridge's goal, that cross that Salah had, I mean, with his left foot and just put it on a rope, right? He couldn't have threw it from 2 feet away better than that, to Sturridge. It was perfect weighted ball right to back post, and I'm thrilled for Sturridge because he's been much maligned, both I'm sure himself with his injuries, and then both with us with all the ups and downs, and only playing I think it's like 23% of the Premier League games in the last 4 years. I mean, if you did anything, if you're up 3-0, what could you say could go even better just to end that game? And I think that's 100% what it is. Get
Sturridge a goal with no injury.
Yes, exactly.
Get him on,
and
get his confidence up, get him a goal. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that could be another, even like going into like, we haven't made a lot of, signings, but it's like Moreno looks totally different. That could be somebody that could give you something. Sturridge, if he's healthy, that's somebody that can come on the 70th minute.
So I was going to say, I know Sturridge won't like this, but I think given his
he's
injury problems,
to be fair.
Well, he might be. You never know. Peter Moore's listening. Good evening, Peter.
Ding, ding, ding.
I think, yeah, exactly. See you in the 10th round. No, I think you're right. I think Sturridge can almost play a super sub role for us when we either need to snatch a goal or we need to see a game out.
Like a Giroud for Arsenal type of thing that he's been doing.
I don't see him as a starter. I don't think he's got the fitness levels to be a starter anymore. I think if he was to start too many games, he'd be in 3 or 4 games, he'd be out injured again.
Yes.
But I think giving Sturridge 15-20 minutes of a game once or twice a week, I think is a realistic goal, and I think he'd do a bloody good job when he's brought on as well.
Lads, I'm going to start winding the pod up now and let you guys go back to your days, but I want to go to you both to the 3 of you, for a couple of things. So, Jono, I'm going to start with you first. Can you give me your man of the match and your favourite goal of the day, please, buddy?
Oh, there's a question. We were talking about this on the way back. Genuinely, I know it's a cliche, but there were solid performances all over the pitch. Back four were solid. Midfield was boss. Front three ripped them apart. This is a tough question because you could literally give it to anybody. At a push, I'd probably give it to Manny. I thought he was exceptional, especially the first half there. Some of his movement, some of the flickery. He seems to have added a whole new level to his game, to a level that even on last year's performance, I thought he was good, but he's just gone up another staircase. It's the tactical movement off him. It's the runs in behind. It's the work rate. It's the belt and speed.
It's the fucking smile on his face, buddy. It
is, and you can see he's at home. He feels like I must have done his chant, I don't know how many times on the cup there, bouncing around the place, but he got a massive ovation. He was going off as well, but he just looks at home, and he looks like a player that will turn into a genuinely world class player. He looks like he's a lot more to give as well, and most importantly, he looks like he's so in love with the place. The work rate, everything about him, he was just so yeah. I would give it to Manny. But best goal, probably Manny's as well. To be fair, just the way he ran down the wing was great team performance, and then belted it in. Don't go wrong. Thoroughly enjoyed all the goals, but I'd probably go for that one.
Randy, I'm gonna come to you next, buddy. Same question. Yeah, Jonathan's had a full-on Mane crush there.
Yeah, my man of the match. I mean, it was definitely between Mane and Salah. I'm gonna go with Salah. He could have scored in the 10th minute when that was saved by Pitacek. And then, he ended up getting his goal, later on. And then also set up Sturridge on that cross. So he had a goal and an assist. And I think he was just, all over the park. And I guess my favorite goal or, best goal, I mean, it's really hard, but I think the build-up play on Bobby Firmino's goal from winning it with Gomez, getting it up to Gini, I believe, and then getting the cross in further up the pitch, and it was just a clinical finish. Downward header off the ground. Czech had no chance. So I think that was just an ultimate, football type of goal. So I'll go with that.
Appreciate it. Phil, what about yourself to finish up?
I'd like to think he's listening. So if you are listening, my man of the match is Gini Wijnaldum. Congratulations on becoming a father as well this week.
And Robertson as well, I believe.
Yes, and Robertson has also become a father. Night. Yeah. I don't think it's the same girl. That would be really weird.
It'd be fucking interesting,
but no, it would have been like, can you imagine our players on Jeremy Kyle? Or Jerry Springer, for those of you that don't know what the hell Jeremy Kyle is. Ginny was my man in the match today. I was super, super impressed with the guy. I arguably had his best game in a Liverpool shirt. I think he was phenomenal today. I was really, really impressed. And then my favorite goal, because my voice is going. My favorite goal, I'm going to go for the Mane goal. I can't seem to get past the Mane goal. It was phenomenal. It was so clean. I'm really looking forward to seeing it again. But it was his run, the movement, not just what he did, but the rest of the team and the movement that they were making as well, and the spaces that they were creating. I just think it came as at the end of a nice passage of play, and it was a great goal. So I can't look much further past the Mane goal either, if I'm honest.
Thank you very much. So that's, no matter what I say, really the Mane goal here has one goal of the day for us. But my goal of the day would have been Sturridge's goal, because I love a header at the back post. I love a floated cross. You could see the goal coming as soon as it left Salah's foot. So that for me was goal of the day. But that's just because I like Danny Sturridge as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Man of the match.
Look how dominant that is. Well, go ahead. Sorry, Craig, with your man of the match.
Man of the match is a damn hard one because, you've all made great choices and you could probably stick Hendo in there as well. Emre Can.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, yes. where do you
Emre
go?
also had a very good game.
Where do you go with this? But for me, just because of the character that he's shown, coming back to the Premier League and showing he's an improved player and what he's done so far, and again with his performance today, I'm going to go with Salah.
Mo. Yeah, that's a good shout.
He was just awesome in a team of awesome performances.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, look, I think we picked all different goals as our favorite goal, and it was only me and you, Craig, that picked Salah, but there was two others for a man of the match. I mean, I think that just speaks of what a dominant performance it really was.
He had a
That
fantastic
we
game.
couldn't make a decision, overall decision.
I think
so.
you're right. I think that there was not one standout winner in this. You could have comfortably picked 4 or 5
Yes.
teams today.
Yeah, I was struggling with it.
4 or 5 players today that could have been man of the match for Liverpool.
Yes.
Comfortably. So yeah, I think that says a lot. I mean, and let's not take anything away from this. Just to wrap up, this wasn't some 2-rate side that's just been promoted. This was Arsenal,
No.
and this was a fully strength Arsenal as well. They had Lacazette on the bench, they had Giroud on the bench, they had Sanchez started, the Oxford started.
Yeah, they had
prove a point.
options.
So this was a strong Arsenal side, and we brushed them aside like they weren't even there.
Lads,
Yeah.
Gonna leave it there. Huge thanks to Jonathan, to Phil, and to Randy for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with the Woolcast. I don't know what else to say. I'm blown away here. Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0, and up the motherfucking Reds. We'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a million.